Hello and welcome to the Candidates Forum. I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV.
And I'm Jacqueline Rixmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce. We are excited once again to partner with Medina TV to bring you the 2023 Candidates Forum. All candidates in contested races were invited to participate this year.
Yes, and the views of those candidates are not necessarily those of the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce or Medina TV.
Thank you for tuning in to watch our 2023 Candidates Forum. We appreciate your willingness to be informed about the upcoming election.
Joining us in studio now is Natalie Disalvo, one of the candidates for the City Council at Large seat. Natalie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. And why don't you start off by telling us just a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Natalie Disalvo. I have been a resident of Medina for the last 27 years. All three of my children, K-12 at Medina. I am a teacher, which is why I was referring to my kids as my students. And I love living in Medina. My husband and I work in opposite directions, so we got to choose where we got to live.
Mm-hmm. And that's perfect. You treat your students like they're kids. So see, there's
Absolutely.
a good tie in there. I like that. What made you decide to run for the council at large seat?
Well, I had run previously, and I did not win. And I was anticipating running again in 2 more years when that seat became vacant. This opportunity arose rather quickly when Mr. Lamb chose not to seek re-election. So I was like, you know what? I want to do this again. I want to do it for the city, and I want to do it to help myself be able to do things for my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for being part of the election process. Could you explain for the folks at home the role of a council person?
So we have the wards, okay? So as a council at large, I would be getting information and helping any citizen in Medina City. If they have a question, if they have a problem, if they're looking for a solution, I might be the one who could work either with their ward council representative or with a smaller group to help fix the problem, fix their question, whatever it may be. And I see it as an opportunity to continue to serve.
I'll touch on the wards here in a minute, but right now, what do you think is the biggest issue or concern that's maybe facing the city as a whole?
It's not anything that I can do anything about at this point in time, but I know the big controversy right now is with the deer issue. I know that's a big problem. I know it's back up on the ballot coming up on November 7th. And once that decision is made, then we'll look forward to working to find whatever solution the citizens have chosen to go forward with.
And of course, you're speaking of the deer levy that'll be coming up on the same ballot as you.
Yes.
And again, to reaffirm with the voters, a yes vote will allow the ordinance to stand, which will allow for the culling of the deer. A no vote would then not let the ordinance proceed and would not allow the culling of the deer. So that'll be on the ballot with there. What are your thoughts so far in regards to that deer levy?
That's a tough one. I have very strong feelings about the current proposal. I know something needs to be done. I totally agree something needs to be done. But once the voters decide, I look forward to helping them make whatever decision that may be, because that's not anything that I'm going to be able to impact other than with my one vote.
Mm-hmm. Now, animals in one way, shape, or form have been at the headlines here with Medina City Council. Of course, the deer, the prominent one, but there's also been feral cats and then also the feeding of wild animals. Kind of what are your thoughts in regards to some of those issues?
Spay, neuter release for the feral cats. Every single cat that I've ever had in the years that I've lived here in Medina has been a stray that we took in, and it was either neutered or spayed already, or we took it and took care of that. Some of them we were able to bring in and have them be inside only cats. Others were just, they needed to have that outdoor opportunity. So I miss having an outdoor cat right now, because it really helped with the small critters that, came around the yard and did some damage to stuff. As far as the feeding of the wild animals, I don't think we should be doing that. There's not enough natural predators in the area to call that population. So if we let nature take its course, I think that would be a better route.
Now, aside from the animals, there's always other issues that the city is working on, and a lot of those require collaboration. How important is collaboration as the city does projects moving forward?
Well, as a teacher, I collaborate a lot. It's really important that you be sure to listen to what everyone at the table has to say and take into account their strengths and weaknesses with respect to solving that problem, whatever it may be. It's a skill that I've had to hone, and I think I've gotten a lot better at it over the years of my teaching career.
Again, we're speaking with Natalie Disalvo, the candidate for City Council at large. And Natalie, what do you think is something, if elected, that you would like to accomplish?
I would like to help the city figure out how we can get some more affordable housing in the city limits so our young people and young adults don't leave. Because right now it's a tough place to find an apartment to rent that's a reasonable price, that a single person who's either working or trying to go to school part-time but not live at home, it's a tough thing for them to be able to do that.
And then another part of the aspect of the job is, I guess, working together as a council. Of course, you'll be council at large, so you're kind of looking at the big picture. And
Right.
You mentioned earlier the other wards, the 4 wards. How do you work on that balance of looking at the city as a whole, but also trying to help out with each of the different wards around the city?
Well, I think that it would be important for me to, be part of the ward meetings, obviously, as they're going forward, and then see how we can get everybody to work together to get on the same page. This ward may be like, oh, no, I don't want to do this. We don't want to have anything to do with this, whereas somebody else, another district of the city, because there's some very distinct parts of the city, even as geographically relatively small Medina is, there's some very distinct parts. So I want to make sure that I can hear what everybody has to say and try to bring everybody to the table together and do what's best for each area.
And then sometimes things can be divisive, whether that's constituents, whether that's with fellow council members, whether that's with administration. How do you balance times like that when, maybe people just aren't on the same page?
That's something that I have to do pretty much every day as a teacher. Again, it's just listening and understanding and trying to, if there's any kind of conflict, trying to do some kind of like a restorative circle to get everybody to understand it's not a personal thing. No one's attacking you or your opinions. We just need to come together and figure out a way to solve the problem.
And I guess a similar approach, because as a council of the whole, that's a lot of constituents that might be emailing you or calling you. How do you address sometimes maybe I guess it's twofold. How do you address the issues that they have moving forward with council? And then also, how do you handle those issues if maybe sometimes they don't actually match what your goals are as a council person?
I want to start with the second part of the question first. My goals as a council person are what the citizens want. Okay, that's what they want. Yes, I'm going to have my opinion, but if they're coming to me and saying, and I'm getting all kinds of feedback, says this is what we want, this is what we would like, this is how we want to go forward, that's what I'm going to hopefully represent. And what was the first part of the question?
Kind of along the same lines, just as you're dealing with them, that if so many people coming at you with different ideas, maybe on the same issue, how do you handle that?
Well, trying to bring all parties together, trying to get those citizens, come to a meeting, express your views, hear what other people have to say. And I guess that's the most important part. Hear what everybody else has to say, and then look at it from a wide angle lens of, okay, maybe this is not exactly where I want it to be, but I can work with this group of people to solve this issue.
Now, one of the things the city does is a 5-year budget. They look at a 5-year forecast in terms of every department within the city. How important is it to have that 5-year budget, and what do you think of the 5-year budget process?
I think the 5-year budget process is great. I think it gives us an opportunity to set some boundaries and parameters and make sure that we're being fiscally responsible as we move forward. I think the process has worked so far well. I know that there's a surplus, I believe, at this point in time, so we're in good shape. So I think it's worked out well.
Great. We're speaking with Natalie Disalvo, the candidate for City Council at Large. And I want to thank you for taking your time to speak with me. I appreciate you taking time to answer my questions, but I want to give you the floor and the mic one last time in case there's something I forgot or something you'd like to mention. You can speak directly to the voters.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Hi. I just want to say one more time, my husband works in Cleveland. I work in Canton. There are many places that we could have chosen to live that would have been more convenient, but we chose to live in Medina because we love this city. Our children have been very successful going through Medina City schools, and I want to do everything I can to help the city continue to flourish and keep it on track.
All right, great. Again, that's Natalie Disalvo, the candidate for City Council at Large. And Natalie, thank you for joining us, and I want to wish you the best of luck this November.
Great. Thank you so much.